Welcome back. We're solving more multi-step equations. Multi-step equations. So let's dive into a couple. Let's say we have minus 3 halves times the expression x over 5 plus 7, and this equals 11. Okay, so we've seen this before. Our variable is buried not only inside of a fraction in the numerator, but it's also buried inside parentheses. We can handle this by taking it one step at a time, and we're going to distribute this fraction into our expression. So let's start off by doing that. Minus 3 halves times a positive x over 5, positive and a negative gives us a negative 3x over 10. Just simply multiply numerator times numerator, denominator times denominator. Now minus 3 halves times a positive 7 gives us a minus 21 over 2. And we still have 11 on the other side. Okay, so next step, we can move this 21 over 2 to the other side. We have a minus 21 over 2. We can get rid of that on the left by adding a 21 over 2. And we do the same thing on the other side. 21 over 2. Okay. These cancel. We still have our minus. Let's go ahead and write it as a minus 3 over 10 times x equals 11 plus 21 over 2. Let's go ahead and write 11 as a rational number with a denominator of 2, so we can go ahead and add them. 11 is the same as 22 over 2 plus 21 over 2. Okay, now we still have our minus 3 over 10 x equals 22 plus 21 is 43. We have our denominator of 2. Now our last step, we have our variable being multiplied by a fraction, a negative fraction actually. So what we do is we've learned we multiply by the reciprocal. And when it's a negative fraction, we multiply by the negative reciprocal because we want to solve for a positive x and not a negative x. So our two negatives will cancel. So we're multiplying by minus 10 over 3. And we have minus 3/10 x equals, on the other side we have 43 over 2. And we're multiplying by the same minus 10 over 3. 10 over 3. Okay. This cancels with this, both fraction and signs, so which leaves us with a positive x equals, multiplying a negative fraction and a positive fraction will give us a negative answer. 43 times 10 is 430. And 2 times 3. 2 times 3 gives us a 6. And we can actually simplify this a little further. Both are divisible by 2. Their factors are 2 because they're even. So we can rewrite this as a minus 215 over 3. Okay, and this is our answer right here. Now notice we could have actually simplified a little bit over here that we missed. We could have factored out a 2 out of the 2 and the 10, but it didn't hurt anything. We factored it out later on, but we always want to factor out as we go. And also, we always want to check our answer. We can plug in a minus 2 over 15 or minus 215 over 3 into our original equation wherever we see x, and it should hold true. So we'll leave that for you, and we'll just work on another example. Let's see. We have minus 4, it's our next example, times the expression 1 over 3 minus 5y equals 7 over 11. Okay. Once again, we see our variables buried inside of parentheses, so we know this is a multi-step equation. It's going to take more than a step or two. So let's go ahead and distribute this minus 4 into the expression. Multiplying minus 4 and a 1/3 will give us a minus 4/3. Multiplying minus 4 and minus 5y will give us a positive 20y. And we still have our 7 over 11 on the other side. Okay, nothing fancy, we're just distributing here. Let's go ahead and move this minus 4 over 3 to the other side, we do so by adding 4 over 3 so that those two will cancel. We have to do the same thing on the other side. 4 over 3. Okay. This cancels with that. So all we're left with is a 20y on the left side. And on the right side, we have 7 over 11 plus 4 over 3. We're adding two rational numbers here, so we're going to need a common denominator. So let's go ahead and use cross multiplication to find the answer to this. We have 7 times 3. Or let's go ahead and rewrite our 20 times y. So we have 7 times 3, which is 21, plus 11 times 4 is 44. And the denominator, 11 times 3 is 33. Have our 20y. 21 plus 44 is 65, divided by 33. It's an ugly looking fraction, but we'll deal with it in a second. Alright, so now let's go ahead and do our final step. We have a variable multiplied by a whole number, so we can simply get rid of this by dividing by the coefficient, 20, and doing the same thing on the other side. These two cancel, leaving us with y. Now we're dividing a rational number, so we can go ahead and change 20 to 20 over 1. And when we're dividing two rational numbers, we don't ask why, but we flip the second and multiply. So we have 65 over 33, and we're going to flip the denominator and multiply by 1 over 20. Now here we can actually go ahead and simplify before we move on. These two have a common denominator, or have a common factor, excuse me, of 5. So this becomes 4, and this becomes 13. Simply factored out a common factor of 5 out of 65 and 20. So we have y equals 13 over 33 times 1 over 4, and that's much easier to deal with. It's simplifying makes calculations much easier. So we have 13 times 1, which is 13, and 33 times 4, which gives us 132, and that's our answer. Okay, it's an ugly fraction, but ugly fractions are usually part of real-life situations. Not all, actually most real-world problems end up in very ugly-looking calculations, so we might want to get used to these. Let's look at our next example. We have x plus 1 minus 3 plus 2x equals 3. Okay. Again, our variable is buried inside the parentheses, so this is a multi-step equation. We can start out by actually removing these parentheses. These aren't necessary. We're just adding here. So we can write x plus 1, and here we're actually going to be distributing this negative sign, or you can think of it as multiplying by minus 1 into the expression. So we have a minus 3 and a minus 2x. We looked at an example like this in a previous video where we're just multiplying an entire expression by the opposite, by a negative. So all that does is flip the sign of everything inside the parentheses. And we still have a 3 on the other side. Okay, now we can go ahead and combine like terms. We have a 1x minus 2x is a minus 1x, or just a minus x. And cross these off as we go. We have a 1 and a minus 3, which is a minus 2, and we have our 3 on the other side. Let's go ahead and add 2 to both sides, which will get rid of this minus 2. Okay. We still have our minus x. This cancels, and 3 plus 2 is 5. Now we want to solve for positive x, not minus x, so let's go ahead and multiply both sides by a minus 1. These signs cancel, which gives us an x equals a minus 5. Minus 5 over 1 is a minus 5. Okay, We're running out of time. Let's take a quick review of what we learned here. Basically doing multi-step equations. We just take it one step at a time using what we know. Okay, we know how to do these, so if we just don't get discouraged and take it one step at a time, we can work through this and we can come to a solution. And we can actually guarantee ourselves that we get the correct solution by plugging it back into the original equation wherever our variable appears. So take another look at these, and I'll see you in the next video.